not
Mar's
disagreeing
smoking
with you
crack
on
right
that.
now. Like Mar, you sound awful.
I'm just,
What's wrong
I'm
with
just,
you?
Dude, I
well,
just woke up like 10 minutes ago.
I'm gonna smack you if you don't start mining, bro. I swear.
the EIP 7702 and 7251 have has brought some equilibrium to the layer 1 to layer 2 conundrum. So, and besides the liquid staking that's happening, it's also for the zero knowledge proofs also gives one standard. It's not all over the place anymore as far as sorter and return fees, etc. And but the gas fee was the first adjustment, right? I mean, now we have gas sensible.
Larry,
And
brother, I'm gonna be real with you. If this thing gets back to 4K and ETH,
that's what's going to happen, bro.
I'm gonna bang the ducks off the floorboards of Ethereum. I've got 8.5 years of longer than that,
Bro,
actually. I got a decade worth of pent up aggression towards them.
that's exactly what my thread is going to be about. That I think that and no financial advice, but I think based on this, don't look at the culture, don't look at the politics, don't look at the political rhetoric. Just look at by simple mathematics. If you see all the redistribution of fees and the equilibrium based on gas and like speed, etc. I mean, it's providing, like Zach said, all of now it's answering all the questions from Cancun and Petra. So the dark starting was one of
I
the
got
more
one number for you guys. 7.4 million miners we lost in 22, courtesy of Vitalik.
That's true. I was, Rude, I was part of that group, big time.
I know you were, bro. I know.
My little spec. I lost. Yeah, I don't even want to go back into that, man. That I really thought I was going to be able to get out of the service, and I had half of my foot in the water.
Bro,
and used
I had my foot so far in
money.
my ass because I was like, eat this flipping BTC. I'm telling you. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
oh, we're going to an EVM.
That was exactly.
Reversal
That was
foot went
exactly part of it.
right to
That
my
was
rump
exactly
shaker.
part of it.
Yep, and in my mouth, and I've been walking like a duck son.
Well, it's gonna change, man. I think it's coming back though. And mining is changing too. Speaking of that, lots of things. I went back to Hong Kong again. Some more meetings, and man, I really I used to think that the Emirates and Dubai would be the place to do business. Not anymore, man. Lots of companies relocating to Hong Kong now, and especially mining. So always had a base in Singapore, but especially now they're going ham on mining. And there was an announcement that the U.S. government's going to reactivate all of these confiscated miners. They're going to start getting back into finding new ways to incentivize energy or subsidize energy production for mining. But that's been happening in China already, just quietly for the longest time. And now we're Hong Kong is becoming the main region for that. And I'll go in more into that, but I am writing an article to kind of clarify. I'm in the middle of writing it right now for all the new some of the corrections on the EIPs and when they're going to launch. But I think Ethereum is going to come back to 4K. I don't know how Rude can read my mind, but that's the number I'm set on. I think that Ethereum will come back to 4K. No financial advice. If it doesn't happen, if we're already gaining some traction, so for me that's good news already, right? So I think that's a good poll to take, Zach. What do we think Ethereum will be by end of April, 1st of May? What do you think, Zach?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Larry. That's what I was going to ask you, bro. Is what's 4K. Your timeline on that? You're thinking that soon?
I think it's going to hit by May, 4K. Yeah. I think we're going to have a lot of volatility again. I think we're going to have corrections from like 2200 to 2700. And it's funny. It's just all that liquidity that's coming out of Solana has to go somewhere. It's not going into BNB. It's not going as heavily into SUI. A lot of it is going into Bitcoin, but people are kind of drawn back by that, the longs on the order books where they're not seeing the reflected gains on the chart. So where's that going to go? For institutions, it's going to be Ethereum, man.
I want to come right back to that. Quick question though for XPX, Rico. I'm getting some questions in the back channel. Are you guys good in the UK? If some of the UK listeners are interested,
100%. We have cards active in the UK. We have actually, bro. It blew me away. The amount of cards that we have around the world. I joked with my brother and joked with like some people like when we actually accomplished this. I was like, bro, if I was selling lampshades on eBay and one made it to Australia, I would have been super proud of myself. But the fact that we got, crypto Visa cards in Australia, the UK, Costa Rica, I mean, it's all over, man. People really love crypto and they need to use this, man. So yeah, in the UK, most definitely, we have quite a few people in the UK using the cards, bro. And you can withdraw, your local currency from the ATM. So here in Las Vegas, people have seen me, withdraw the dollar from the casino, the Fontainebleau, which I love. It's a new casino here in Las Vegas. But we've also got videos of people in the UK withdrawing, the euro and the pound and stuff like that, getting 10 quid, 20 quid, getting their funds. So yeah, most definitely, bro.
Awesome, man. Appreciate that. I had a couple questions in the back channel about that. Shout out to Extreme Car Care. One of our avid listeners was asking me that, and a couple others actually too. So appreciate that, man. Larry, coming back to this liquidity question, because I was mentioning this, man, like, today in some videos. I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors right now with like, the issue is tariffs and the issue is Trump. And there's certainly some of that. I think there's certainly, what's going to happen here short term. But I think the real big issue, man, is just the lack of liquidity. I think that's really where we're at right now at this stage in the market. We're lacking retail right now and overall liquidity. A lot of people are just sitting on the sidelines, even before all this Trump stuff came out. I mean, why is that? And what's the catalyst? I mean, do we need to get to a point where, these recession fears are completely gone, completely out, and we start, printing money again? Like, is that a necessity for crypto and all coins?
I was gonna tell you it should be a perfect storm right now, really. So this is what I find odd, but I don't find odd, right? Is that we have the president and the whole crypto council, his cabinet, his crypto cabinet, undo 3 years worth of decisions and case law made by the SEC against some of the major players in DeFi. Also made a broad sweeping statement that meme tokens and most ICOs themselves are going to be classified in the same context as collectibles. That means basically you have at your own risk, launch your own protocols and
Larry,
swing for the fences.
Larry, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of you guys don't understand. XRP is a protocol. Okay, I'm not trying to be a bear of bad weather. Tether's a protocol, but this is where Tether's different. Tether has done something that no other thing has done, and I'm not trying to boast about it or anything. The fact is,
Tether is the main player, man. And they are going with full speed with Hadron. They're providing the liquidity vehicle for and the tokenization vehicle.
They're the
ONDO,
primary.
for
They're the
XRP,
primary.
for Ripple.
Yeah, exactly. They're the primary onboard, off ramping of any algorithm chain
Bitcoin.
out here.
Not just that, they also own all the IP for Hadron, which is the first universal tokenization protocol, and they have trademarked the term zero layer stable token. Functions on helping them provide the solutions and the technology for that.
Yep. But the biggest thing,
really,
I think everybody needs to understand is, okay, you need to compare this, okay, to 2002 through 2009. Okay, if you guys can look up what went on in Silicon Valley, you will see the same players in
a good balancing peg against Bitcoin. Again, you know, they were always ran together, and I think with the price coming up, that it will bring some equilibrium. You know, as far as where some of the retail is going, because we're already seeing even with the bad price action on front facing, they're buying up a shit ton of Ethereum, not just Bitcoin right now. You know, and so the other thing
But the
is,
problem of it is
with all
Larry,
of that
here's
being
the problem,
said,
and this is what the average
they're
investor,
minting more and more USDT.
Larry, the average
You know,
investor doesn't get it.
that is one of the constants, is USDT is being minted regardless of sell-off or buy pressure. The USDT is being minted in force right now.
Larry, can you hear me,
So
bro?
it's a strange set of metrics to look at, but it just means, you know, we're having a run up again for sure. And you know, $4,000 Ethereum. I was saying that, Rude, earlier, that would you finally
Zach, can
read
you
my
hear me?
mind? Because because Zach was going to ask me what do you
Yeah,
what do you
I
think
can
the
hear you,
price,
Tell
Will.
Larry to
Can
what's the
shut
you
price
hear
down.
prediction?
anybody?
No financial advice. I said I think Ethereum's going to
Larry,
be
can you hear
4K.
anybody?
Every bit of 4K.
Can you?
No, he can't. Bro, he's in
I
deep
said,
thought with himself.
and
He really is.
then you disappeared, but that's exactly where I see Ethereum, no financial advice, may, you know,
Larry,
be.
What is
I think
going
we'll definitely
on?
have
I'm
our price
losing it.
corrections,
Larry.
you know, 22 to 2,500 again, $3,000 maybe, and we'll have the.
All right, had to mute real quick. Just trying to get this reset. Thanks.
hold on, Larry, can you hear me? Larry, I'll DM him.
Hey, Larry,
Yo, this is the perfect segue
Larry, can you hear
to
Zach?
the Crypto Breakfast Club. We're 1 hour in. Mar, shut up. We're 1 hour in, and right now you haven't shared the room, have you? Share the room. Mark, go ahead.
I just DM'd him, so.
I was just making sure to see if Larry could hear me.
I don't.
Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Okay, and I'm gonna be real frank with you guys. The problem is these mother effers are getting their supply OTC to them. It'd be different if they bought it directly off the DEX or off the CX correctly, where it would give a
100%.
good. Okay, but I'm tired of people bragging about this shit and giving false analogies to newbies. Let's be 100 here. Trump bought $52 fucking million worth of Ethereum. Did you see a dent in that chart? No. You know what it should have went up by? That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right.
All these guys, you know, and these guys are trying to get it at dirt level prices, and screw that. We have, listen, as much as I want, okay, yeah, I get it. We want these guys in here. But if they can't play by our rules, what makes them better than us? Why? They're playing with real people's money. Do you realize that you can go out and get your own license and become your own financial advisor and compete against them if you guys truly wanted to? It's not hard. But if you're going to do this full time, get your shit together and do it and compete against these morons that are coming into our world, not theirs. And do not allow them to set the bar.
Facts, bro.
How many validators are on PiCoin now?
Okay, so right now, right now in total, we have 43. We got 43 right now. And it's still at lightning speed because you know why? Because you got old school BTC miners running their fucking super nodes for them. And we know how to upgrade our shit. If we allow BlackRock or Grayscale or Ripple or anyone, you know, no lie, no, real talk. Grayscale's already applied for the KYB. Binance is running a super node for them. So if you guys don't think these guys get in early, they do.
Facts, man. I want to get down to Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo's just joined us. By the way, I see the SNEC logo. We're going to have a massive Cardano space tomorrow. I'm going to post that up and let it run for a while up ahead of the space tomorrow. So, Paid, I expect you to get the word out to all your Cardano in whatever.
Oh my God.
Yo, listen, I'm straight
Mar,
up
you're
fucking
coming
calling,
too. I
I'm
don't give
calling
a fuck.
Hoskinson.
Yo, did you hear?
I'm calling Charles Hoskinson.
We're
fit.
making you a Cardano maxi tomorrow, Mark.
You heard what Trump just said?
No.
This is getting worse. He goes, tariffs will be gone. Canada will not have any tariffs if they become the 51st state.
Oh, Jesus. I just put it up in the nest. What the fuck?
Bro, he's trolling. He's straight up just trolling us.
Well, they asked him about this
That's it.
yesterday. They asked him about this yesterday, and he said, well, this was a little while back. He said he didn't care about the economy right now. And I mean, maybe this is part of a grander plan, tank everything and kind of fucking reset it, start printing money again. I mean, but I think it's so different from his last go around as president, man. Like it was like the barometer that he used is like, look at the stock market, look at crypto, look at this shit. Like, look, we're in a great spot. Now he's just like tearing everything down to kind of reignite something again. And I mean, I guess for America, it's good, for the markets though, it sucks right now, short term.
Yo, Zach, to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you. This is treason.
A lot of it is just getting his get back, man, for what they put him through the last time,
Bro, we didn't do nothing to him. Okay,
No, I'm not talking about us.
I know,
Bro.
Zach, but he peeled off close to the, okay, so if you follow any of the wallets on the Trump, including his NFTs, he's peeled off a cool close to $2.7 billion. This mother sucker found the water effect in crypto. And so
yo, mother sucker, what is this fucking
He's the biggest rug puller in crypto.
He is, bro.
He better bring that damn Trump coin back up to $75, or we're gonna have a fucking
He's
problem.
making.
It took him 76 years.
Listen,
It took him 76 years, bro, to become
That's
a
why I
billionaire.
said he's getting. That's why I said he's getting his get back. I didn't say
He's making
how.
rug pulling great again.
But here's the thing, though.
Dude, I'm so sick of winning already. No more winning,
Maybe-
Mr. Trump.
hey.
No more winning.
Maybe that time travel conspiracy about his son being the time traveler or him being the time traveler is true, because it's like
It's
Zach
true.
said, the polar opposite of everything that he was on before, his ideology, his strategies, etc. I just think it's so different, and then even the people around him are so different this time around. So
It's so true. Wait
Yeah.
until Ivanka wins 2028. Telling you.
crazy, man.
He's increasing
Stranger things have
Canada's
happened.
steel and aluminum tariff to 50% just out 20 minutes ago.
Trump merchandise made in China.
Hey, check this out, bro. The crazy.
Yo, Zach, you bring up a good point. That was one of the funniest things about people supporting Trump as president the last election, not the closest one, but the previous one. Everyone's like, he's gonna bring so many jobs back to America. And then I was looking in my closet at the Donald Trump sign. I read the back, made in
How about
China,
this?
and I said, okay.
How about the U.S. Treasury when China asked, "Hey, we want some of our physical gold holdings back that we just parked here for solidarity," and the U.S. Treasury said, "What gold?" I mean, that's you want to talk about really?
Bro, they owe us.
Uncle
Hold on,
Sam
they
to be
owe
the
us.
biggest gangster, man.
Larry, they owe us. They owe us money for what we've
No.
done for them, and they never paid it back to us. So
Hey, bro,
we're taking the gold.
we can owe them they can owe us, and it's still not going to be comparable to the amount of debt they have bought from us and how much gold they stored here.
I will say
facts,
one
bro.
thing. Because coming back to like traditional markets, to kind of get a barometer, whatever, however the fuck you say that word. And I'm
Barometer,
gonna get
you're
right
right.
to you.
Second time around.
Yeah, barometer. I'm gonna get right to you here in a second. But I was listening to the space right before us, and guy made a good point. Yesterday was the first day we closed below the 200-day moving average on the S&P 500 since 2022. I mean, it's been a fucking straight line up. So at some point, Yo-Yo, mute your mic because I'm getting reverb. I'll come right to you, though. Yo-Yo, mute, please. There you go.
I got
Okay,
him.
cool.
I got him.
I want to go right to him here in a second. But yeah, I mean, when you look at go look at the S&P 500 chart, guys. I mean, we went up 78% in the months that like preceded this pullback. It's crazy. I mean, so at the end of and Bitcoin went up like crazy. Like we forget. So like I think it is important to kind of put shit in perspective a little bit. The fucking markets went insane for no real apparent reason, by the way. You know what I mean? Like we're still dealing with $10 fucking eggs. We're still dealing with people working paycheck to paycheck. Nothing's changed from November to right now. Nothing has fucking changed. So I mean, some of this is good, and I think the market needed a reason to pull back, and they're putting it on the tariffs. They're putting it on recession fears. We've had recession fears. Hell, we were in a fucking recession under Biden, and they wouldn't call it a recession. I mean, we've think about it. I mean, so it's nothing.
If they do that.
It's nothing new.
If they do that now, Zach. My bad. That was one thing that bothered me so much was that whole not calling it what it is. But if they decide to call it that now that it's somebody else, it's like, come on, guys. Oh my God, that's so irritating, man. That bugs me.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And
but that's why we're in crypto, guys, because we don't have to deal with that. We know crypto is 24/7 globalized.
Yeah.
So
and the stock market's going to be 24/7 too. Well, that's coming.
It's definitely coming.
Listen to me. If we allow them to manipulate our space like they've done the stock market, we're done. They take a Class A stock and they cut it 12, almost 10 ways. My bad, 10 ways. So by the time we truly get out there and buy a stock, all right, you're buying a fraction of a whole stock. We don't need that, bro. We don't need that. We need that's the biggest LARP since fucking bread came, since sliced bread came out. And that's the
I like
truth.
my sliced bread.
I'm gonna be real with you because guys,
convenient.
I understand I've been here for a long time, but what I'm trying to explain to you is the beauty of crypto is it evolves. With evolution, you can't just put your stock on one thing. Yes, you can hold it and can create a reserve. Don't get me wrong in that. But that shouldn't be the thing that sets the standard in any space. Because let's be real, the stock market, what set the stock market's benchmark is no longer of value. Let's be 100 here. So this can't be their cash cow. This is our playground.
I like your background.
I'm bullish on a North Korean Ethereum ETF or a reserve. I think they kicked off the bull run. That's it.
Yeah, Agent always does it for us, guys, and they're gonna pick it up for us again. As we got the Don over here milking us like fucking like fat cows at a farm.
Yeah, that should have been the first red flag sign when he drained all of the liquidity to his token. I mean, that just wrecked so many projects. It's unbelievable.
It's hurt. It's hurt, bro. It hurt because you want validation for like HBAR, ONDO, all those. And with him coming in and wrecking it like he did, and he played into, if you think about it logically, if you play the suit game, he played right into all his buddies. And that's why the Democrats are saying what they're saying, but the Democrats don't hold no weight. If they had some weight there, it would hold value. But those of us that are in this space, we understand because I said the other day, I said, oh my God, we're having the attack of MySpace, Facebook, and PayPal again. And everybody goes, what do you mean? I said, well, Jack Dorsey was on PayPal with Elon and David Sachs. Jack Dorsey's on Sushi. David Sachs has got a VC that's in Solana Labs. I'm like, holy shit! It's a rewind of almost 20 years ago.
Rude, Zach, and Paige. I'm not a huge Alex Jones fan, but he had his one panel expert today that was shot to death outside of his home, and he was one of the biggest critics. He was kind of reporting on all of the, especially in crypto and DeFi, and talking about the inner fuckery that we always talk about here about, like the exchanges and such. He was one of the bigger critics, and also calling out, when he was really asking for when's the Epstein files going to be released without being heavily redacted. He was talking about some of the other big coincidences that were happening, and he ended up being shot outside of his home to death. So I don't know, man. It's we live in strange times now, but I mean, it's just, people can say what they want to say about what's happening with Doge and stuff. It's not all good, right? I know some people that are personally being affected by these cuts, but at the same time, that's what the American people wanted, and we need clarity. We need some transparency on the spending. And now, the Democrats can complain as much as they want, but there were some just horrible abuses of, I mean, real life changing money that was on the back of the U.S. taxpayer, right? And so it's funny that we have these two paradigm shifts in politics and economics. One side is the balancing of the books, but at the same time, the balancer of the books has made sure that he got paid. You know, it's just kind of an irony, you know. So
I read something yesterday.
double-edged sword.
I read something yesterday that was interesting. It was basically talking about like psychology and you always look back like at these recent highs and you're like, man, I wish I would have stabled up more, took more profits. Even myself, I mean, I stabled up probably 50-60%. Ideally I wish I'd have stabled up 80 to 100%. You know what I mean? It is what it is. One of the things I read though was kind of interesting. It was like, hey, if you find yourself screenshotting your gains and sending it to your fucking friends and family and shit, it's probably a good time to shave off 30-40% of your your asset there, whatever you're screenshotting or your overall portfolio or whatever. It's just, I think we've reached this point in the market where, there were days back in 2021 where we just went up, 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 up. The market's different now. It's just take your damn profits. I think we all need to reconsider and reevaluate kind of our strategy. And at the end of the day, everything ends up bleeding to Bitcoin right now. And I think we can't forget that. Altcoins are great, but they're great for trading and they're great for, longer term swing trades. They're great to accumulate more BTC. And that's really, Zach's been saying it. I've been saying it. I'm saying this for a while. And I think that's kind of where the market is right now. Like, sure, there's going to be altcoins that are going to be here a decade from now. But who the winners will be, I mean, nobody fucking knows. I mean, the only real constant remains, is Bitcoin. That's the only constant that remains constant. And I think it's just when we get these pumps, because we're going to get pumps again. Remember that, mark this down, jot it down, store it away, because, it's much easier said than done. When we get into those moments and you get, your emotions start kicking up and, oh, we're going to go higher. We're going to go higher. We're going to go higher. It might be a good time to kind of reset your targets, reset your kind of plans and strategies with all of this, because it's a different fucking market, man. It's completely different. And no matter what, anything and everything usually bleeds to Bitcoin at some point. Shorter term timeframes, of course, you can get altcoins that are going to outpace Bitcoin tremendously. And as that happens, take your damn profits. Not financial advice, but fucking advice.
Learn how to shave. Talk to one of us that have been through these cycles. We'll teach you how to shave.
I agree with you, Zach. I mean, I always say Bitcoin is the digital gold, Ethereum's the digital silver. And if you have those two, the backbone of your portfolio, you will survive. Because, I mean, over time, if you just look at Bitcoin, I'm not a Bitcoin max or anything. I just look at market cap and liquidity. And clearly, if you just look at it, it's right in front of your face. That's what they're buying. That's what will grow. Things will come and go, like, some meme coins. I honestly, personally, I know this is bearer bad news, but I don't think they're going to touch all-time high again. And the market's changing. Money's flowing into Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETFs, that kind of stuff. That's what the big boys are buying. So why not go with them?
Well,
That's really simple.
Think about
the
this.
market the market couldn't be what it is without the consumer confidence of Bitcoin. And again, what's one of the biggest separators for Bitcoin, Litecoin, is that it's a mined asset. It has a cyclic economy for renewing the liquidity base, right? So that it doesn't require, using your fellow person as extra liquidity. That's one of the if you go back to the Satoshi's white paper, that was always the whole intent. That's why I love mining. That's why I still mine, and that's what I do most of the time.
Daily. If you think about it, no one's really tapped into building on Bitcoin yet. I mean, it's a slower change.
Well, but actually, the thing is they have, but they don't want to share it with us.
That's what I mean. Like, plebes, we're so early.
They don't want to share it with the plebes. That's what really pisses me off is with all of this money that's been invested in this escrow and this custodial system for Bitcoin and this order book system, it's just driving me nuts that none of that, the retail or the purchasing volume value has added anything heavy back on the charts. They just let trickle in little by little by little to where it just makes the market sustainable and so they could capture a little bit more on retail side when people want to get out of the heat of the kitchen and say, okay, I'm going to sell my little Bitcoin here or there, but you get 1,000 people doing that daily, and that starts to add up, and that makes a pretty big dent in the overall quenchable supply of Bitcoin that's available on open market, and it's getting smaller and smaller every day. And that's why get involved with mining if you can, and that's what I'm attempting to do, and what Rude's attempting to do is provide democratized mining access and through our different ventures, and yeah, I mean that's really it might be the future in some ways.
I mean, there's
Don't
no
wait for the
doubt.
chart.
There's no doubt, Larry, that I hate to say this because it's like you're giving financial advice, and I want to come right to fearless here. I'm coming at this from my perspective, but like Bitcoin needs to be your end game. Like, and so many people don't do that. So many people, especially on the retail side, they don't do that. Bitcoin is the end game. Everything else is to fast track your end game holdings. I mean, and that to me is really what it comes down to. You have to have this mindset. If you don't hold Bitcoin or don't have a strategy to accumulate Bitcoin over time, like you're literally at the casino. Bitcoin at this point is the only thing that you're really not gambling on. This is like
You are, though. Zach. You are.
Yeah, you are
you
gambling,
are,
but it's a light.
but I mean,
but it's a slight risk.
are you though? Really? I mean, guys.
Yes, you are, because here's the situation. Think about this. Okay, so we let them come in here. We let them control the sediment of BTC, the overall total, lockdown X amount of supply. Then they can use it as a vulnerability threshold to then corrupt the rest of the blue chips. So think about it logically. What is gold? What is gold right now? So if we're considering BTC to gold, gold is what roughly around $2,900 right now.
Yeah, and it's actually been coming down here recently too.
So if you want to be real here, you have guys that are being that have been underneath federal audits that are now the lights are being turned on. The Cardanos had just gotten federally indicted. Okay, so for what we call, or what they want to call, crypto as a Ponzi scheme of what they've been doing. So if we are to do this correctly, we have to be able to get our voices out there and not be scared. And that's all I'm trying to tell you. If we're to keep this up, it's not going to be by the United States dollar. It's going to be by the Asian market. It's going to set this threshold. We have to be real here. Because nobody can come in. A lot of people, let's be real, today's economy, nobody can walk right in here and say, okay, I'm going to throw down this much money and buy this much BTC. You have to start somewhere. So give them their options to weigh out, to ultimately get the rips to convert over to buying a BTC, because we have to control it. But I do believe we're going to go down a little further. I believe 60 to 50K. That's not financial advice, but as a miner, I'm telling you, we're cutting our hash board rates down right now for mining. We're slowing down the completion of the node because we want to throttle back as miners because of how grimy it's gotten over the last 8 months.
Well,
I agree.
Will,
I think
and
50 to 60.
I want to
50 to 60 is the bottom.
okay. I want to ask Will this question though, because a pullback here to 77 is normal within we'll call it normal cycle. So I guess the question is, are normal cycles over? Because I want your perspective from a mining standpoint, because a lot of people have different opinions on this, and nobody really freaking knows at the end of the day. But is the 4-year cycle over? Like if we go down to 50K, that to me is we have clearly entered a bear market. A pullback here to 77K, we've seen 30-35% dips on Bitcoin within a
To
broader
me,
bull
to
cycle.
me,
So like,
as
what
long as
are
we
we?
stay
Where are we?
above
Where are we going?
our floor for miners is 32.5. Okay, that's our threshold for this cycle. So if we go down to 50 on a correction, we're perfectly fine and we can rerun it.
See, like now, Mar would
That-
say you're absolutely crazy for calling that a correction.
I would
It's a bottom.
I would tell you as a miner that you know, we are consolidating new buyers because there's lots of new buyers, but we're not accepting lots of new buyers right now. If it was just to give money away, we think the grab for Bitcoin is too fast, to be fair, right? And that we don't have to look for new buyers. There's a line of buyers lined up. Almost every country, every institution in the world is lined up right now. And we've had to, you know, kind of make some ethical decisions on slowing down. Not just ethical, it's also like, is it becoming such a fast grab that it's becoming scarce for us to be able to have some back to, you know, do some of our own liquidity moves that we need to do to purchase new equipment, to do, you know, is the trade-off for accrued value on the Bitcoin worth the trade-off for, because it's at a good purchasing pocket price right now, is it worthwhile? Now, me and Rude might differ in opinion on that, on what the floor might be for us or for anyone else, but we have 80,000 miners that would make us a top 10 BTC holder and producer in the world. Everyone knows this for the company that I'm at, and the one thing is that it's getting pretty nasty right now. We have a lot of pressure on us to just sell to whoever wants to buy because we're this bank or we're this investment group or we're this country, right? So it's becoming more and more difficult to even be a miner. It's funny, like what you'll see soon is people are going to be, you know, policied out of their situations, right? And that's why it's very important for, just like you hold different assets, it's important for us to have miners in different places because policy is now being weaponized to remove one person's or one mining group situation and turn it into another mining group situation that has an interest in mind of said nation, state, country, or financial institution. So that's scary when that's happening right now. So, you know, my opinion from Rude might differ a little bit. I don't see us going below, you know, 77 or 76. The only reason why I say that now is the ETFs are built to run on, you know, the lowest would be 60, 65 for the ETFs to function, where it's profitable for them and they're not losing money to end user investment, right? And now we have,
And I think that's
you know,
the good side, Larry, of the institutions coming in. Like that to me, and to Will's point earlier, that to me, I guess, is the silver lining here. They're not coming in this space to fucking lose. They're not coming in here
no,
to deal with this extreme volatility, like
no,
it's
they're
been
not.
like in the past.
They
They're
didn't.
gonna make it
Yeah,
somewhat more stable, right?
yeah,
I mean, they have
they
to.
didn't. They didn't. Yeah, they didn't make all of these products for us normies not to feed on, right? And the second part is like it's not really they're at war with most of the institutions are at war with one another, and you just have to look at the fine line as far as supply is concerned, right? So right now, even if you don't want to call it what it is what it is. It's BRICS versus OPEC and G7, and we can see that with MICA. You know, with the EU talking about we're going to circumvent everyone and we're going to allow who we want to play when they want to play with. They made the announcement they're going to have a CBDC on a digital euro. China tried that already. That didn't work. And the United States has acknowledged that, and even China has acknowledged that. So they're just saying like, okay, let's try to work together when we can. And, you know, when we have to have these, you know, spats like a husband and wife. And that's why I really look at, you know, China and the US as like, it's like a husband and wife that they have to live together, stay together, but it doesn't mean that they have to get along together all the time. And when they fight, it's horrible, but when they make up, it's beautiful, right? So we can look at these financial institutions the same way. You know, we only have they're fighting for all of these resources and hearts and minds. So one of the other biggest, it's easy for us to forget because we are in this 24-hour news cycle, that it's not just the monetary assets or the real world assets that they're trying to gather up and to, fractionalize and use as a financial instrument. Confluence and influence, right? The hearts and minds of the people that are consuming these products. And that's why we see all of this PvP and this decisiveness when we look at DeFi and blockchain as a whole, all of us, like the vision that Rude's sharing, myself, you, Zach, Mar, Patasco, anyone here, is that it's decentralized, it's democratized, and there's enough room for everyone to work together, right? But why do we have like the EU talking about a digital, CBDC token? We have BRICS versus G7, and then we have the banks. Even the banks are getting along together, right, under XRP and Ripple. And I don't know why it's not so easy for us to remember that it's not an Ethereum thing, it's not a Solana thing, it's a survival thing right now, right? And how do we make sure that we can hold on to the democratization of what we're doing in the space? The smart investment companies will want to work
EU
on
is getting pressure from Ripple. You realize that, right? Ripple is putting a squeeze on the EU.
No, Circle is putting a tremendous amount of pressure on Ripple.
Yep.
Circle has put a tremendous. They would have not had this wild. They were okay. Look at the UK. UK's not just allowing Coinbase in as an exchange. There's several other exchanges coming in the UK, but they kind of drummed to their own beat, right? But that whole CBDC and it's going to be USDC, because now Circle has also tried to have the new dark sharding's main token of choice or currency of choice is USDC. I don't find the timing to be so, coincidental that now all of a sudden USDC gives a shit about Ethereum working and sharding working, and that they have said, oh, we're totally into enforcement of law and policy, and we totally, will provide.
Larry, I'm going to paint a picture for you. I'm going to paint a picture for you. CZ and Elon have spoke to Craig Sellers and the boys from Tether. Okay. CZ is backing Tether. Once Binance is back in the United States, is when we start a real rip again. I'm gonna be 100 with you.
But they've always supported Tether though. Now they did fuck up
No.
earlier.
Oh no. They're doing it in Trump's reserve.
No. I know. What I'm telling you is they've always been there. They're part of Float Group. You have to look at who helped support CZ when he was going through his shit when Binance was moving to the Emirates, who helped facilitate that, provided all the banking rails to get his money.
Yep, I know.
To the Emirates, right? So that's that one part.
Yeah, right. But what I'm saying, I guess what I'm trying to ultimately tell you is Brian Armstrong can think he's getting a leg up on CZ when really CZ's done nothing but he's been 10 steps ahead of these guys from the rip.
Well, if you look at moving liquidity, people are not stupid now. People are starting to move to other choices in the U.S. I don't know if you look at, and Robinhood's not stupid. They've just been quiet about all of the new people that have moved from Coinbase to Robinhood. Now,
Yep.
I don't think that this trend from Coinbase is going to go for forever, because they rather, if they want to admit it or not, because they spend a lot of money, through media and market, make sure that this is kind of swept under the carpet. It's kind of like a certain audit company spent lots of money to sweep under under the carpet what happened with them in Tornado Cash. But I'm just saying. And now they're on the Forbes list of best places to work.
Yep. I think I'm going to be real with you,
article
because
came out,
Larry, you and I
on
both
Forbes,
know.
and they're talking
Oh
about
my God.
Base and Certic as being two of the best places to work for a new tech startup. I just found that interesting and not so coincidental for timing.
Larry, can you hear me?
But you're
again?
right though, Rude.
Can you hear me?
Justin Sun.
Larry.
And here's the big thing.
Larry.
Who out of all of the exchanges or all the
Larry.
private entities and all of DeFi, Web3,
Oh my
and
God,
TradFi
here we
would
go
use
again.
Bitcoin?
Larry.
Bro.
Yes.
Yo, I'm fucking crying,
Rudes was just like, oh shit.
Here we go again.
That's crazy.
Fearless. Hey, let me get to Fearless. He's been waiting for a minute. Larry, come back up if you can hear us. Let me send him an invite. What's up, Fearless?
Jesus Christ, Shakespeare.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say hello to Larry, but obviously you can't hear us, so that sucks. What's up, Zach? Everybody. No, I was gonna go to the point of Bitcoin. Like you guys were talking about the builders, and you don't know what's coming out. Even within themselves, I'm amongst the builders themselves, and like they're not communicating within themselves. They're not, and then there are updates that we don't know about, or then we kind of know about, and or people say that it's really up there and it's really not. So all this makes confusion on the communication. I think would help a lot when it comes to Bitcoin specifically, and the technologies is about to come out or what is coming out. You know, it's going to be retail heavy on enterprise solutions too. People don't see that coming, but it's like to Zach's point, Bitcoin to me, there's no financial advice. It is the end goal. Like all these things that you're doing, all these tokens, you know, just it all kind of leads to Bitcoin if you look at it in a big picture, or if you do it right in good strategy. So with that said, I think overall, all of the builders amongst all protocols should be talking with each other, have some type of consensus, some type of standard. Obviously, with everything that's going on, it's going to be a big casino and P2P, and people are going to try to figure out what's going on. People need to have some type of standards or some type of guidance, and not just a standard on a one protocol versus another protocol. Like there should be universal standards so people can understand. And I think that comes with education on a presidential level now, I guess, since he's on this playing field, right? That's my take on it.
No, bro, he don't care. I mean, I'll be real with
I
you.
know he don't. He cares about his family,
don't care.
but it would be nice, right? Yeah, you're right.
I mean, this motherfucker's seen how fast he can make $1 billion when it's taken him years to make it to the billionaire club. 70 years to make it to the billionaire club. He comes into crypto in 1 month and makes $1 billion.
You're right. I can't knock on that though. I have hope of that, but you're right.
No, the hustle's real, bro. The hustle is
You gotta
real.
keep him. He's trying to make that family wealth and keep it stable and then keep it going, and then next level.
I took a lot of profits off of his token and put it right back into Bitcoin. So fuck him.
No,
So-
you know what I
so-
did? Bro, listen, I shaved off of that and I was in the liquidity pool at $3, okay? And I rode that all the way up until about a week ago.
I was selling so much shit at 105K Bitcoin. I'm like, these fucking
Brother,
people
I was
really think
clipping
it's
like
gonna
you.
go to 500K. I'm dumping everything and I'm putting it into Bitcoin, Ethereum, some Solana, and I'm like, you know what? They're gonna be my exit liquidity. Because why not? If I don't pull first, they're gonna kill me.
Well, I told my group to stable up 2 weeks ago. Real talk.
That's right. I stabled huge. I'm happy.
I
I'm just
I
saying,
stabled
Zach
about
from Subway.
55%, and
that's good.
Thanks to
I mean,
Zach
it's
from
solid,
Subway for
but-
always selling to take your profit. I appreciate you. I took good profit out of that and say, peace out. That was one of the only tokens that I have ever caught like really, really in the top. And I'd be like, let me hold because it's gonna go higher. Even though I thought about it, but I was like, yeah, let me take my profit for real. Thanks to you guys. Let's fucking go.
I
That's
stabled
awesome.
up. I
Take your
stabled up
profit,
the
for
rest
sure.
of my Solana today. I stabled up the rest of my Solana like 124. And I'm pretty much riding the wave with ETH, but I'm still okay on ETH. But you know, ETH is ETH right now. But yeah, I mean, Zach, you were talking about it early. I mean, anytime like people start talking crazy, it's just you have to realize the signals, man. Things go up crazy amounts. Everybody's screenshotting and Bitcoin to 200K and Trump's coming in. And I mean, dude, we shot up from what, 60K to 110 in like
Yeah,
a fucking blink.
that is the bull run right there. People don't know you're in it until you're in it, and usually, lasts 1, 2, 3 months, and it starts to retrace. What goes up must come down, and I treat that same analogy as what I do with meme coins. The best indicator is your own personal gut. When you think it could go higher, that's when you need to start selling and take some profits.
I'm still
and
thinking
usually
too,
it's correct.
Zach. I'm still thinking too, Zach, like late this year. Is that kind of where your mind's at? Like I'm looking at, let's get to August before like we really, and honestly, like that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm kind of mostly stabled up. I've got some things still in the market just in case we get a little bit more, pump action. I could take a little off, but I think we're gonna have a big cool down period again in the summer. Maybe a little pump before then, and then a cool down period in the summer. And August is gonna be get your ass ready to go.
Zach, can you
Well,
hear me?
Yeah, we
hold
got
on,
you.
Mark.
Yeah, we hear
okay.
you, dog.
We can hear
One
you.
Go ahead,
second,
Zach,
Mark.
and then
I
we'll
think
get to
it's
Mark.
going to pull back a little bit more, and then I think we're going to see a push to the upside, and then I think we're going to see a downward trend. Like you were saying during the summer, obviously vacation, all that. I think this one we'll see a little bit of a downward. It'll be a pump, and then it's going to start crashing.
Okay.
And I think the bottom floor is 50 to 60K.
I'm gonna give you guys.
But that's
a
still
scenario.
bullish
I'm
because
gonna give you guys a scenario here. Okay. So in 2021, we ripped in April. So now we're in March. So just peel it back 2 months for this cycle. We will rip between August and September again.
I agree. And then we'll
I'm
see a
on board with
retracement.
that.
But
You guys, I think
I don't think it's going to go very low.
I think you guys are smoking crack.
I think you're smoking
Hey,
Viagra.
Mar, that's why you're trying,
Yeah,
and my
well-
portfolio is still green.
Listen, you're a smart guy, dude. I know you're smart as fuck. I know Larry's smart. I'm not too smart. But this history, it's over. Well, come on, man. This shit of
Mar, did we lose Mar?
Did he
Yo,
rock?
Mark got so fucking emotional. He fucking rubbed the
Dude.
bro.
Let's
Mar
go.
has to understand.
He was
this.
about to fud your
Okay,
bags.
listen, guys. What Mar has to understand is we don't have Congress that has passed any framework yet. People are holding their money. Once Congress passes these official framework bills for cryptocurrency, motherfuckers will not be fearing; they'll be buying. That's the truth. Everybody keeps wanting to say, "Oh, Trump this." Any executive order still has to be approved by the Senate and Congress and Congress. Remember this.
I mean, Mars back up here, and Will. I know he's going to go into this. We're in a bear market. I'm to this
No,
point
no,
now.
no.
Hold on, Mar. I'm to this point now. I think I'm going to stop saying bear market, bull market. I don't think it's a fucking
yeah,
thing anymore.
it's over.
I think
It's
it's
over.
over.
There's no bear market. There's no bull market.
There's just a market.
That's what I was going to say this early in the show. A bear market. What's a bear market? Is there a time frame? Like, you know how you have swing trades or like a few months to the max a year. Day trading is within hours or a day or two. I mean, what's a bear market? 2 months? A bear market could be 2 months. Why not? But what I wanted to tell Will is, Will, when Bitcoin hit, when Bitcoin pumped crazy, I don't think it hit all time highs, but when it pumped crazy before the halving, that was the first signs of the cycle is getting broken. It's being broken because it was easy manipulated that the last 2-3 fucking cycles because crypto was low market cap. Not anymore. Not anymore. And I think that the history of it, looking at the history of crypto, it's a waste of time, dude. It's you're gonna get wrecked if you're going by. You better go by your balls and not the history. You bet. By the way, Will, if you got any videos out there or anyone has any videos on YouTube, how to get into liquidity pools, I think AMM, I think, and shit like that, send it over because that's what I'm doing my homework on now.
I'll send you one that I did before, Mar. I'll send it to you. But I was gonna say something to just key in on. You remember like last week, Walmart requested that all its Chinese producers give them deep discounts for the increased tariffs, and many of them have started giving those deep discounts. And do you not find it ironic that Walmart's going to get involved with their tokenizing and getting some of their meta on blockchain, like their rewards? The timing is not ironic, you remember I talked to you guys about that, about Kroger and Walmart. But it's just funny that this shit is happening at the exact time when these supposed discounts off of this tariff has been negotiated all at one time. And now we're going to finally release and develop and put out our rewards or our blockchain modernization. Also, Saudi Sovereign Wealth Group and Aramco are also accelerating a supply chain based blockchain solution and an AI solution for diversifying their investment strategy and also their interface for possible investors into Aramco. So, things are moving along. I mean, big money is being infused into the space. But it's just like, TradFi, where the average normal person is not going to be able to see the fruits of that anytime soon, but it's happening. And I was going to say, I was just in Hong Kong and I concluded a big piece of business, and it also may not hit, retail sometime soon, but the fact of the matter is, like, there's huge amounts of liquidity still moving around. People are still building. That is the one thing. People are building at a fevered pace right now, regardless of the market conditions. So I guess that is kind of I guess a tidbit of hope.
Larry,
It's
what's your
just
take on the whole markets, like bear market, bull market, cycles, the
I
halving,
don't
the Bitcoin halving? It's like, oh, we're 300 days away from where Bitcoin usually peaks.
know.
Like, is there
It's
substance to
just
any of
like
this? I mean, maybe
it's
there
just like
was, right? Or I mean,
I think one of the biggest parallels for that is, like, we've now started to see the age of the caller, the age of the KOL, that unless they're informing the communities, but I think the age of the callers that are calling projects to jump onto directly and pumping them and talking about cults and memes, that shit's over with. I agree with Mar to a certain extent that what we call, these cycles, we can refer to them historical for historical context, but I think it's more of a you look, you observe, and then again you go by your gut. I think really if you follow where the money is at, then you'll be able to make, I like I've always said, the time for these the 100 to 200x times are gone. It's going to be those 2 to 3x's, and like staking. Uh, it's really becoming more centralized, right? So I think that there's going to be standout projects that are going to do, big numbers like 50 or 100x once in a while, maybe, and that people will
Ondo.
gravitate around that. Yeah, exactly. XRP, Ondo, Bitcoin. Do I think we'll still see a meteoric rise on some of the main assets like Bitcoin? Absolutely. I think Bitcoin is going to take off again. And I see Ethereum doing the same thing because
My thing is get skilled in the art of leverage trading, guys, because that's where you're going to be making your money at. Like I am. I'm sitting here. I know you guys have watched my timeline on my Lounge account. I'm banging off on 50 X's over 100
on
plus X
shorts,
a day
on your
on
shorts,
shorts and longs.
it's
Yeah.
just, yeah. I mean, really, if you know how to do that. But the stake, it's funny, all these ETFs all of a sudden added the staking on too as well. So I mean, you're going to be able to get involved with,
Yeah, but that's
the
such a load of shit, bro. Because you can go to a DEX and get
no, no,
over
no. I'm just saying,
1,000% to 288%
no,
for
no, no, no.
7
You gotta,
days.
you gotta let me finish, Will. I'm just saying that
All right, go ahead.
that is an indicator on, giving you, if they can make that extra bit of money on that little tiny bit of leverage that you get from on a staking protocol on an ETF, if you can long and short, just like they're doing on these institutional trades, and you follow where the big money is going, then there's no reason why you couldn't make some money, is what I'm saying. I was just using that as an example. If there's that amount of liquidity where they feel like they can put a staking protocol onto an ETF at considerable cost and complication, then there's probably enough liquidity there left for you to long and short every day. So there's plenty of money. It's just finding the pockets of money now. And again, not any one person can tell you where to go or what to buy. Like the kind of observations many of us make here are based on real market sentiment or movements like supply chain, demand, and actual like infusion of liquidity, right? So like I told you with Walmart, they are all of a sudden having their cake and eating it too. They always have, but really, really they're not panicking right now. And with inflation being the way it is, you just have to look at the bigger picture. Do you think Walmart's business is going to increase or decrease in this time of inflation where a huge discount grocery or retail outlet's not going to benefit from again, there's more pressure based on inflation and the same wages, right? So if we look at that as a combination, it's a perfect catalyst for people to, they're not even gonna acknowledge the fact or know that they're getting into DeFi, but they will, because if they have a
Bro, I
mobile
just want to
device,
bury the banking system, and all we're doing is crunching them up. And now,
well, they're using DeFi as a new set of skates to keep rolling, bro. That's all it is. It's been that way now for the last 6 years. They've been quietly moving in. People forgot that there's already been a centralized blockchain called Onyx. JP Morgan has had Onyx chain. I might,
we got Onyx, we got Monero,
especially Onyx. So it's just
and Stellar. Don't forget Stellar, bro.
well,
Hey,
yeah,
when
we can.
Trump was asked about the tariffs, he said, "quote We're going to become so rich, you're not going to know where to spend all that money. I'm telling you, just watch."
Okay,
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
Zach, I'm watching, and maybe my eyes are a little fucking blurry or something. Maybe I'm losing vision here, but I'm not seeing what he's seeing.
He's going to take
Well,
the market, buy it all.
with
He's
this
going to buy Bitcoin.
this whole tariff thing, though, I mean, think about it, guy. It hurts everybody, but I will say this: it hurts America the least, right? I mean, and
Yeah, but Zach,
is
that's
that
such a
is that the
Well,
long game?
and
I mean,
it
no, it sounds
hasn't
fucked up to
hurt
say, but
China.
it's true. It's true.
Exactly. It's not really hurting China that bad. I'm here right now, and it's pretty comfy right now. I haven't seen all of what West. It's funny. I was just in Hong Kong, and I was just somewhere else. I was watching the news. I was watching CNN. I was watching, ABC, blah blah blah, and they're talking about all of this market downturn and this instability. While I was just in a mall, there's a line waiting outside of LV and then Gucci because there's all these like China Uncensored and all these, YouTube, propaganda. They're funded by a couple. Some of them were funded by USAID before as well. And it's just funny that that is not the reality. It's funny when gold price spiked up, Chinese people bought at the top. The gold stores were full of people buying at 2,900 price per ounce. I was just flat. I don't know what kind of market catalyst would drive people to buy at the top, but I haven't seen all of this, this volatility effect. Now, is it optimum here in China? No, it's not. But is it optimum in stateside either? No, it's not, right? But people are not down as bad as the media would have you to believe. And so I feel like, it's just we're suffering a little bit. Our bags are suffering. And like it's Newton's law, we went way high really fast. I think more millionaires were made in the first half of this. And I think that it's expected that we have some pullback. You can't expect to have all of that floor move up that high and then not have, people cash out eventually. That's just the nature of the.
I agree, Larry. The only thing I disagree with you is the Chinese food restaurants are getting worse and worse in America.
They had to cut,
And they're getting more expensive.
bro. They had to cut costs because when a carton of eggs is 10 or 12 bucks, and you want to have that egg drop soup, that $1 or $2 egg drop soup is now $5 or $6 egg drop soup.
Listen, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
No,
Yo, Larry, you know what, Larry? I'm actually mad because I was planning on a trip to go to Hung Dai with you, right? Annyeonghaseyo, baby, but it ain't looking too good right now.
Well, I mean, you're in Morocco right now. You should be able to buy some properties and resell them. There's so much Chinese investment in Morocco right now. You should be able to make a bag. There's people.
Hey, Larry, shut up, shut up! Don't tell these people that.
I want to see sports gambling in crypto. I think that's going to be
already
huge.
here. What are you talking about, Zach? It's already.
What are you talking?
Happening.
Well, maybe
Zach,
that's just
go buy meme coins.
I know.
No. There's in China alone.
Meme coin.
Even when DeFi was illegal, there was estimates there's $500 million to $1 billion worth of sports gambling happening daily on and it's all paid for by USDT, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And now Solana. Now there's another one that's doing all Solana. So
I want to see it legitimate in Vegas.
Well, if you look at what's his name from the Win, that's well, I better not.
Oh yeah, that guy.
There
Man,
is
he's a sketchy. He's a rug puller too.
there is a project that's what you're talking about is already in the works, man. Already.
Awesome. Let me know. Send me a DM and tell me what it is, because I love sports gambling, but I'd rather do it with crypto
I,
than this worthless cash dollar.
well, the settlement's instant. You know what I mean? There's no
Yeah.
process, and that's why people in China and APEC love, bro. I'm telling you, it's huge.
Dude, I love Baccarat. Those people are crazy.
Well, I mean, that's
That's another conversation.
just like what's his name said from Dana White said. It's not a party unless we have some Chinese or some Asian people down in the pits, right? I mean, really, that's who plays baccarat. That's who plays roulette. I hate to say that, but I mean, it's the truth, man. I mean,
My favorite Asian is Uncle Roger. Have you ever watched him? Go watch him.
Fu
YouTube.
Yi, yeah, Fu Yi.
Yeah,
Oh, he's funny.
I fucking love that guy.
I think my egg fried rice is better than his, by the way,
It's
though.
all about
1 million. Oh, who said Pai Gao?
You know who said it?
Zach Humphrey said Pai Gao.
Come on, man. That's the best game in the casino. You don't
Hey,
lose
Zach.
big, you don't win big, but you get free drinks in Vegas, man. Learn how to play Pai Go.
Hey, was that?
Oh, that's a good tip, Zach. That's actually, I'm gonna take that one.
Mar posted in the Crypto Breakfast Club TG a picture of you as a sportcaster. Is that AI or is that real? Is that fucking real, bro?
I was a sports
thought that was
broadcaster
AI.
for 7 years, man. Radio and TV.
I had no idea, Zach. And I've known you for a long time. I didn't even fucking know that, bro.
Yeah.
He had hair.
Larry,
I saw that.
if you go to the YouTube videos, his YouTube, video channel, just put the oldest video because I clicked it by mistake, and I'm like, look at this shit, and you will see Zach calling football plays and basketball plays and shit, broadcasting for not professional, well, a college team or some shit like that.
Yeah, just college, yeah. Yeah, I did it for a while.
And
It's fun.
I just want to make a shout out though. We do have a friend in here that's part of the Hong Kong Invest government team. I'm not going to name the person, but we do have some big guns in this crypto breakfast club right now. Just saying, friends, a few. So
The Yamagata
No,
do,
not the
baby. We
Yamagata.
in here. Whole crew's up in this bitch. Let's fucking go.
No, but we do have some very smart people that are here right now that are in the mix for what's really going on. So yeah, I mean, we already have a lab and a new office in Hong Kong, but I'm going to expand more into Hong Kong myself. If you guys haven't done yourself the favor to potentially build or try to think about incorporating outside of I mean, let's face it, the United States is the number one location right now, but for outreach for technology and as far as front running on carbon credits, green credits, and agricultural tokenization, Hong Kong is the place to be. And then you can come back stateside and still build. So just I want to give a friendly shout out to our esteemed colleagues from Hong Kong that are in here right now. So
Awesome, man. Hell yeah.
attract the best, man, in here right now,
Love it, bro. Love it. Hey, guys, we got about 9 minutes left. I see Coach joined us. I want to get him in here. What's up, man?
Hey, what's happening? Good space as always. Just wanted to come up. I usually don't share how bad I fucked up in 2018, but I'm going to share it today. Back then, obviously the halving was 2016, 2017. We had a really good run. And it was 2018, I think, it was like in January is when it really started going down. And at that time, I had pivoted into Litecoin because of the Lightning Network. And I DCA'd starting at 160, 140, 120, 100, 80. And then my computer got hacked, not my crypto account, but I got locked out of GDAX, if anybody remembers GDAX. And it took me a couple of months. So I was fucked, basically. It was bottomed out at 48. Something just for you guys to consider when this thing starts rebounding. every time, like when it got to 60, I sold my 60s. When it got to 80, I sold my 80s. And I fucked up. Could have waited until that thing ran back up. So some of the points are that was 2 years after the halving. So I don't know that times are different now with the institutions and all involved, but I feel like I know that Sailor, I heard the other day, his cost basis in Bitcoin 66. So that's kind of a number I'm keeping my eye on. I've never sold Bitcoin, except I did sell a little bit at a 103, and I'm looking for a place to get back in. And this may be it. And if it goes to 66, that's where I'll probably come back in. I'm just sharing, my strategy. It doesn't mean that's what you do. It's just, I'm admitting that I fucked up really bad in 2018, and it's taken years to get everything back. So we'll see, because that was two years later. I feel like, and not financial advice or anything, but I feel like we might get another run back up, which would be good. And try not to panic sell, which is what people are doing. There's no way that this is just the institutions doing this. This is the people freaking out, in my opinion. Um, Will, I know you do longs or leverage trading. I'm just scared to death of it. So, congrats to you, because you're pretty good at it. If what I see is the
Coach, I told John that I'll host you guys. I'll hold a private group for you guys, and I'll walk you through the steps. I'll do like an 8-hour class with you guys and walk with you guys of what charts to use, what to look for, how to do an indicator, and what is the best times. You can't do this shit all day. Okay, you have to understand that you cannot do leveraging all day, because you'll just get wrecked by the market makers. You have to understand there's a strategic strategy to this, and if you know it, and if you understand it, you're gonna learn it. You'll start seeing that chart and that's why we always say in this space, we're eating crayons, because once you get an indicator down on the red and the greens, bro, you're eating crayons. You're literally, you could pull a chart up and you put it on whatever minute, 30-second, 10-second, whatever you want to put it on, and you'll be able to balance it out and see by the volume and things like that. And I'm just telling you, it's not hard. It's not as hard as you guys think.
Yeah, well, I just want to say the purple crayon tastes the best.
I knew you were gonna say something stupid.
Well, I actually use red and blue crayons. I don't like the red and green.
Hey, really?
So let me ask you this, real quick, Rude. You're doing really short-term leverage trades then?
What do you consider short term, bro? Do you understand when you do a 50x, you have to run all the way up to 100x to get the mature factor on there?
Okay.
So any of the ones that I posted, you're seeing them all over 100 plus x.
Say real quick, some breaking news. SafePal got both on from China as one of the first swap or digital wallets where you can have remittance to international banking for digital assets. So that's a big deal, because if you have a SafePal wallet stateside, if you download that, I'm not endorsing them, but I use SafePal too. But it may allow you to buy or purchase other tokens that have restrictions in North America if you're using the right VPN. Not giving you any ways to circumvent policy, but or your local jurisdictions, but the combination seems to work very well for someone I know. So I'm just saying that they are the first to get pre-approval to move onto international banks. So you might be able to trade and to purchase and move tokens you might not have regular access to from North America. So big news for say, and it will allow more access to other ICOs and projects in the international markets from APAC. So SafePal's native tokens probably going to rise in price from that. They have a close relationship with Chainlink as well, so probably something to look out for. Didn't mean to take up any more of the time, but it's a pretty big deal. Good wallet to get into too if you're using like MetaMask or the others. Trust wallet. SafePal is my preferred wallet. So.
Oh yeah, one last thing, guys. Before we close this out, everyone, keep sharing the room. People will listen back. But India, Coinbase got approved for India. India got like 1 billion people in it. That shit's crowded. 1 billion people now have access to Coinbase at least. Let's go.
That's bullish.
That's actually really bullish.
Maybe they will freeze some of the wallets for those scam centers. That ask.
And that's why Kathy Wood just bought a bunch of. That's why Kathy Wood just bought a bunch of Coinbase stock.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I hope that they do a better job of the lawbreakers than they do with the law-abiding citizens. And I'm not hating on Coinbase, man. I love like Coinbase. Bitcoin on Coinbase. I love our base supporters here. The community is great, but fucking come on, Armstrong, really? You have the power of Grayskull, and you can't be fair.
Fuck him, bro. He's a bitch.
Yeah, and the market manipulation with I don't want to talk bad about your boys.
God damn you, dog. You just gotta do it.
Yeah.
I hope they make enough money.
Don't say that W word.
Yeah, bro. It's
hopefully they make enough money in India off of Coinbase and doing some trades where they can buy gloves, because that street food they're cooking, how they stick their hands in that food and then
Yo, don't, dude, I'm trying to eat right now. I be watching those videos all the time. I send them to my mom.
Oh man, I get lost in that at night.
Bro, they need to fix that shit right the fuck
Hey, what
now.
are you talking about, man? You moved over there just for you to get hand, food.
Bro, I'm not even in India. Should I be though?
You should be.
Man, I'm not gonna get involved in that one because
Paige loves a scoop of diarrhea for lunch.
Oh my god, you see that video?
Nah, listen, I would say I do
That
fuck
is funny.
around with some Bollywood movies though, when they be dancing and shit, and they be like, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to sound racist enough, but y'all know what I'm talking about when you see them dancing and doing backflips and they have like supernatural powers, but they're just average people. Bollywood films are the shit, bro.
They're hilarious.
Oh, man.
India street food is the ticker.
Hey, through your eyes.
Bollywood is
Indian street food is the NFT.
I don't know what to say about, but I will say though that it's not all bad news, and people should just lock in. It is maybe coming to these spaces like chicken soup for the soul, but it's sometime, man. Because man, if you just listen to all the bitching, complaining, and whining, just even on the feeds for X, man.
Oh, it's crazy. They're all short term. That's why. Their little shit coin didn't make it, so now they're bitching because they lost a lot of money. Yeah, I see it all. It's crazy. I just laugh. And if you're here for the end game, the long game, you're gonna make money. Just buy.
What's good?
More stable
from Subway. You know what's good about that from Subway though? Not everyone made the pivot like Zach Humphreys did to provide a neutral and informative platform for changes. Now we have a bunch of these. I have choice words for them that will be washed out in the rain.
Oh God, yeah.
They're just gonna get shook out, and that's great for the space.
Yeah, like tears in the rain. Yo, Blade Runner? Let's fucking go.
Cultural references. Yeah,
dude, I got references for everything. I just don't be saying them all the time.
Man, it's just funny.
Hey,
man,
a Bollywood film about it. Let's do it.
Have Paige as the lead character.
He'd be flying around and shit. Just like
superpowers. You know what, Paige? You say you're brown, but every time I think of you, I think of a white guy. Not just because of your PFP.
Good. That's how I throw him off my scent. That's exactly good, Larry. I love to hear that. That's how I throw him off.
I straight up thought he was white. No lie.
He's definitely not white.
Oh shit!
Who said he's definitely not white? Zach, is
yes.
he white? Can you confirm this?
Yeah, he's not white. I've seen him on a horse.
That is true. Yes.
I have. I've seen that. I got the images.
That even makes him more white.
I know. I've seen.
How does that make me? Listen, I'm in Africa on horses. That makes him more white. Like
it's like that image.
No.
You know that image that you see of Kim Jong Un
Mar
riding that white horse. That's why I think I paid.
Mar made a
Bro, those
video
memes
actually.
are epic.
They're so epic. Listen, get the XCalgo Sniper Indicator. Use that for your trading right now.
Hell yeah.
The
Show
market
that
is
down.
so volatile, you can make money. Not financial advice. But don't be an idiot.
Zach-
Use the indicator.
I thought you were Filipino for the longest time, bro. I swore you were like half Filipino, half white, bro.
His name is
And then
Zach.
when yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Zachs though. You
That's
know,
true.
I mean, there's a lot.
Your name is Larry.
Yeah, that's pretty white right there, and I'm not. You know, so
Yeah, so white.
I heard. Wait, hold on. Don't forget, guys. Zach is a Mexican gangster, and I'll never let you live that down.
That's right. Someone said he was a cholo.
Bro, I
Yeah,
get
that's
that
just-
all the time.
Dude. But that's okay to be culturally and racially ambiguous, though. You know, he can float from group to group, so that's not a bad thing. You know.
When I was in London for a while, everybody thought I was from Morocco. I swear, everybody's coming. Are you from? Everybody's like, "Are you from Morocco?
Bro,
Are you
come
from
to
Morocco?"
Morocco, bro.
And yeah, I don't know, all kind of different stuff, but
Bad thing.
we'll take it. Hey man, another great space, guys. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you hanging out with us for a while. Shout out to all the speakers. Quick shout out to XPX Token, our sponsor today. They're phenomenal. We're running a giveaway right now. It's on the top of my profile. It's pinned up there. So make sure you enter there to win. Go check out their website. Hop in their TG. Get acclimated with what they've got brewing. Shout out to all of our great sponsors today. XPX came up, joined us, but we're partnered up with some great companies, great projects out there. Paw Chain, shout out to them. Altura in the gaming and AI space. Algorand, which I'm sure many of you heard about that one. Top 50 project, and a few others as well that I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, Bitcoin on Base. Speaking of the base chains, shout out to them. They just came off of a great week at ETH Denver and talked with some people at Coinbase. So I was actually just talking to Brian, their CEO, in the back channels late last night, and they got some cool things cooking. So excited to hear about that.
Yeah,
Zach, I was there live, and they have some really, if I may really quick, I don't mean to interject, but they if you going there live, they were the biggest booth right there at ETH Denver. They had it all locked down. It almost looked like an Apple-esque type of booth. They had customer representatives there. They also had people that were building new video games on Base, which is really interesting if you look into it. And it's people that aren't developers, aren't game developers, don't have any savviness to it. You could just plug into the Base platform or whatever game they have, and you just AI it, and then just whatever your imagination is, and then you can build it on Base. They have like all these systems, dude. Like they're making it like an onboarding system for people that aren't even builders. So yeah, Base is they got something cooking. They're making it easier for people to onboard. I see that being really interesting.
Yeah, the wallet's dope. And also next week we got a great project coming on, the Syrian, and a pre-sale will start next week. Well, we'll drop the date soon, but look out for that. That's gonna be pretty epic. Nova is partnered with them. They're building incredible stuff for the space, but you got to, come to the show. It will be exclusively announced on the Breakfast Club, so you don't want to miss that.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Appreciate everybody again. We'll be back tomorrow. Back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
I'm going to remind you one last time. Keep your eye on DeLorean.
Copy that. 100%.
Coach,
Keep your eye on
100%.
DeLorean. They've been working on it for a couple of years, so yes.
You'll be excited to see some stuff from the Syrian.
Who mentioned DeLorean, by the way?
DeLorean.
Robert probably.
Keep your eyes on Walmart.
Yeah, well, on the DeLorean thing, this is just, an opinion, nothing more. I always say not financial advice. They're launching sometime, I'll say within the next month, because my opinion is it's such a big project for what SUI is doing to bring exposure to their chain. I feel like they've got a lot of eggs in that basket, so to speak. So I feel like this is going to be a really good one.
The Lord profit machine. They've been collecting on IP and just for like income. They haven't been operating as an actual car company. Just imagine what they're doing with IP and video games and licensing. It's insane, and what they're about to come out with, it's a total like surprise.
I'm also going to plug one QRL. They were at ETH Denver. I'm working with them in the background. They've been out for 6 years. Take a look at them. QRL Ledger.
Let's go.
Hit them up. Have them come on for a sponsorship.
DM
Let's
that to
go.
me if you will, Rude. I think
I
that was
definitely
you.
will.
Thank you.
We're getting them pegged to a stable for on-ramping, off-ramping.
Okay, cool.
Awesome,
you can make
guys.
money.
Awesome.
Make money in a down market. It's easier than it when it's going up, in my opinion. Just be
Amen to
smart.
that.